Hi and welcome to another video in the Yocto tutorial series. Have you ever come across the term machine in the local.conf file and wondered what it means? Or perhaps you have looked at a machine configuration file and noticed some unusual looking variables and asked yourself, what do these actually do? In this video, we'll explore all of these topics together. We'll learn what a machine is, understand what a machine file does, and break down those mysterious variables to make them clear and easy to understand. So, let's get started. So, what is a machine in Yocto? In Yocto, a machine represents the target hardware for which you are building the software. Think of it as a blueprint that tells Yocto everything about the device, such as its processor, memory, storage, and other features. In our case, we will be using the beaglebone black as our machine. For the beaglebone black, the machine configuration describes how to build a Linux system specifically for this board. Now, how can we list all the machines that are available in our layers? To do this, first, we need to navigate to the Poke folder or the folder where all your layers are located. Once there, we need to run the following command. The command is find.-name ****conf pipeline grep ****con/machine. When we execute this command, it will list all the machines along with their paths. Our machine, the beaglebone black, will also appear here. It will be listed as beaglebone-yocto.conf. To use this machine, we reference its name in the configuration. Note that we don't need to include the .conf extension. We simply write the name of the file, which is beaglebone-yocto. Now, first of all, let's open our beaglebone black machine file. To do that, I will run the find command again. Here, we have our beaglebone black machine file listed. We can copy the file path, just type code, and paste the path to open the file. Now, the machine file has been opened. Let's start by checking the metadata. This section is just a comment, so it does not affect the configuration, but let's take a look. First, we have the type. It says machine, which tells us that this file is defined as a machine configuration. Next, we have the name. It gives a friendly name to the machine, such as beaglebone-yocto machine. Then we have the description. It provides a brief explanation of what the machine is for. For example, here it says that this configuration supports the beaglebone and beaglebone black boards. The second portion is about the display server. Think of the X server as a paintbrush that draws the desktop on the screen. These variables ensure we have the right tools for the job. Here, we have the preferred provider virtual/X server variable. If you have seen my previous video on preferred provider, you might already know what this means. This variable specifies that the X server we are using should be provided by xserver-xorg recipe. Next, we have the X server variable. This variable contains the components of the X server. For example, xserver-xorg is the graphical system used by Linux. This other component is the driver, which helps display graphics properly on the screen. The next configuration is machine extra recommends. Here we have settings for kernel modules and kernel device trees. This ensures that any additional drivers, kernel modules, or device tree files are included in the build. Next, we have extra image depends. It is set to virtual bootloader. This adds the bootloader as a dependency. Without the bootloader, the system wouldn't know how to start. The default tune is set to Cortex-A8 HFF Neon. This sets the CPU tuning profile to Cortex-A8 HF Neon, which optimizes performance for the ARM Cortex-i8 processor with Neon S IMD instructions. Now we are sure that we are using the A8 processor because the beaglebone black is based on the ARM Cortex-i8 processor. Think of the default tune as fine-tuning a car engine for maximum efficiency. It makes the CPU run faster and better. Next, we have the include directive. It includes the Cortex-A8 include file. This file contains additional settings specifically for the ARM Cortex-i8 processor. Now let's look at this portion, which has variables related to the image type. First, we have image fs. It is set to tar.bz2, jfs2, wick, and wick.map. These are 4 different file systems generated for this image. tar.bz2 is a compressed archive. The jfs2 is a file system designed for flash storage. Wick is a whole disk image format. Wick.map is a block map file used for faster flashing. Next, we have extra image command for JFS2. This adds options for creating the JFS2 image, ensuring no padding is added. Finally, we have the wcase file for beaglebone black. This file specifies the whole disk image layout, defining how the disk is partitioned and how the partitions are structured. The machine essential extra depends variable ensures that the kernel image and device tree are included as essential dependencies for the image. Next, we have do image wick, which adds the necessary dependencies for creating a wick image. Among these dependencies, IM2's native is used for working with MS-DOS file systems, while DOS-FS2's native is responsible for creating FAT file systems. Additionally, virtual bootloader do deploy handles the deployment of the bootloader. Moving on to serial consoles, this is the list of all serial interfaces available on the beaglebone black. For example, TTY-S0 is the standard serial port. Then, we have the UART port specifically for the beaglebone black along with an additional serial interface. Finally, we have the serial console check, which ensures that all serial consoles are verified during the build process. The next part focuses on kernel configuration. First, we have preferred provider virtual kernel, which is set to Linux Yocto. This means the kernel will be provided by the Linux Yocto recipe. If multiple kernel recipes exist such as Linux, Yocto and another kernel recipe like Linux, Tech-A-Byte, we can specify which one should be used. Next, we define the preferred version. Before setting a preferred version, we must first specify the preferred provider, which in this case is Linux Yocto. If multiple versions of the same kernel recipe exist, we use preferred version to select the desired version. Here, it is set to 5.15. If you are unfamiliar with how preferred provider and preferred version work, I have videos explaining them in detail. We then set the kernel image type Z-image. Moving on to the device tree, we specify 3 device trees required for the beaglebone black. The device tree defines the functionality of each pin and determines which pins connect to which internal controllers. For example, a single pin could serve multiple purposes. It might be linked to both the SPI and I2C controllers. The device tree configuration ensures that the correct function is assigned to each pin. Here, we have 3 predefined configurations for the beaglebone black. Next, we have kernel extra args, where we specify the load address of the kernel, essentially its boot entry point. This adds an extra argument to the kernel command line, defining the memory address where the kernel should be loaded. Now, let's look at the bootloader section. First, we define the bootloader's preferred provider, which in this case is U-boot. The U-boot recipe supplies the bootloader. Additionally, we specify the SPL binary as MLO, which is required for booting. Then, we have the suffix, which is simply an identifier appended to the final boot binary image name. We also set the machine configuration, which determines the U-boot def config required for the specific hardware platform. This machine specific configuration will be used during the build process. Finally, we define the U-boot entry point and U-boot load address. If you are wondering where to find the necessary details for a machine.conf file, you will need to refer to the official documentation for the specific board you're targeting. Next, we have machine features, which includes USB gadget, USB host VFAT, and ALSA. USB gadget enables SB peripheral functionality, while USB host allows the system to function as a USB host. The VFAT feature provides support for the VFAT file system and also ensures audio support through the also sound system. Following that, we have the image boot files variable, which is responsible for generating the required U-boot files. Previously, we defined variables for all the necessary boot files, and here they are all listed together. Finally, there is some QEMU support defined in the configuration. However, we won't be covering it in this video as it falls outside our current scope. Even if you chose not to include these settings, the machine file will still function as expected. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one, and thanks for watching.